how we doing? So I'm back for another video. Had a little bit of break off in my boxing at the weekend, which I won. Thank you to anyone that has donated to the cause, because it's all for a great cause in the end. So this one we have a 2018 with a MX-13 DAF. It's 13 engine, so we're going to be doing a tappets on it and doing all the valve clearances on that. So we're going to get it up in the air. I'm going to show you on the markings on the flywheel first of how we know where it adjusts, the valve clearances, the torque setting form and everything like that. So first, let's get it up in the air and let's get the cover off and then turn that flywheel. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this cover off. On weight, we're going to take the cover off. It's two little M8 bolts. We're going to take them, one will be on there, take that off, put the adjuster in to turn the flywheel. I'll show you that. There's our turning tool. So let's get the cover on and then we'll turn the flywheel to our first marking. So there's our bit there. What we're going to do is turn it until we got our first number. So I'm going to turn this and then I'll show you what we're on first. So as we can see here, I don't know if it will zoom in enough, there is our first number, 16. I'm just going to turn it back and slide. There we go, 16. So let's get the rocker off and then we'll adjust, I'll see which one's on the rock first and then we'll adjust that. First thing we're going to do is get this rocker off. We've put it on 16, so we're going to undo all these, all 8mm, so ring of 8mm bolts all the way around. We'll get the rocker off and then we'll have a look. So we've checked this. That is, it's not on the rock, that one. That one's level. And that's on the rock. So all we're going to do, I'm going to mount my phone, camera, sorry, and then I'll show you how we're adjusting them. Okay, so first one we're adjusting is our ring net, and that is 0.20. You see it? 0.20. So all we're going to do, if I can show you, I'm going to lift there and coil it up. Just going to get underneath. See how that feels. It's quite loose. I've always been told when I've adjusted them to make sure you've got a bit of bite to them, you've got a bit of a snatch on it. That one's not too bad, to be fair. I don't know if you can see it very well. So if you look here, we're just underneath and we're checking if it's got resistance. So that one's not too bad. So yeah, checking that. There's a bit of resistance on it. Probably could do a little touch, to be fair. So all we'll do is readjust the camera. So all we're going to do is I'm going to back it off like that. I'm going to undo it. Yeah, so we're nice and loose. I'm going to stick our feeler gauge back underneath, like so. Have an Allen key. It is a, what size is that? 5mm. So back our lock nut off and then just feel it. So as just a bit of, not too much, not to the point where, so that's a little bit too much, not to the point where it's too much, just a little bit of drag, tiny little bit. Beautiful. And then all we do, we hold that in there, Go back again, just check it again. See, that's a bit too much. When you tighten them, sometimes I tend to just tighten up a little bit too much. So you're better off, I think you're better off having it just to the point there. Beautiful. So they have got a torque setting. Torque setting is 64 Newton meters. There we go. Just to recheck it again. Lift the collar up. Oh, that's beautiful. That is lovely. So that's that one done. So now we have to do exhaust side. So exhaust side is 0.7 mil. We've got these little things here, on like little dog tag. Let me turn our camera on and I'll show you where they actually go. So they go in a little gap at the top. Like so. They're just fitting that gap. So there's quite a bit on that, so we're gonna have to adjust that. But there's our bit of tool for it, so they're 0.70 mil. Yeah, and we're in at the top. Obviously we've got quite a bit of play in that. So I'm gonna back that off and adjust that. Same idea as the inlet, make sure it's got a little bit of drag on it. Not to the point where it's biting and it's tight, just a little bit of drag on it so you can feel it. Right, so I'm going to back this one off. Undo the nut. Right, we need that. So, all we're going to do is tighten the Allen key up. Right. So that's locked up. Back it off a bit. Lovely. I like that. So, when you're doing these up, I normally just put the, show you. So when I'm doing it, I normally put the spanner on first with the Allen key. Like that. Just double check it again, remember? Yeah. That feels lovely. So, we've adjusted that. Get our torque wrench, 64 Newton meters. And then we'll double one more check again. Adjusting valves is important. Needs to be done on servicing every couple of years. It can affect all kinds of stuff if they're not adjusted properly. And they aren't done regularly either. Lovely. So, that's the first one done. All I tend to do is, just so I know it's been done, little marker pen, mark, that's done. So there's our first one done. All we're going to do now is we're going to turn it over, go to the next one, so it should be 2.5 should be next. So let's turn it over and then we'll adjust the next ones. There's our next number, 25. We zoom in. So yeah, 25. So let's get back at the top and then we'll check which one it's on. Right. So let's check which one's on the rock. So we've got 25. No. There it is. So same again. What I'm gonna do. If you're looking for what it is, millimeters, actually 0.5. So let's check that. If I call it up. Yeah, that's nice. .7. Okay, now quite a bit in that again. So remember again. Back it off. Okay, now. So cool. Oh, so feel it. That feels good. And then tighten that. Probably want backing off on a little bit more. I'm sure some people in the comments will say I'm doing it wrong. Or that's not the way I do it, and that is perfectly fine. Everyone has different ways of doing everything. We're not all the same, but this way is never. I feel like I want to do it. This way is never done me wrong. Much better. Much better. It did sound a bit, it didn't sound the greatest earlier. It was okay, but just check that as well. Yeah, like I say, I'm sure you'll get someone in the comments that go, oh, you can do it that way, and that's fine. Doesn't bother me. That feels nice. So like I say, when you do them, you want a little bit of drag, but not like it's fucking stopping it. You still move it, but a little bit on it. Do you know what I mean? So, like I say, I've done that one. All we'll do now. I'm sorry if I'm repeating it, but these things are important, especially when you're timing up these. Get our pen. And just mark it as done. So back downstairs, adjust it back round. If you know, 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 4. So 3, 4 should be our next ones. So 3, 4, I've done that, turned that over. Let's have a look. So 3 and 4. There we go. Number 4. What do we reckon then, boys and girls? Is she going to be okay, or will she need adjusting? So 0.20, 0.5 for inlet. Probably adjust that a tiny bit. Really typical little fit. So remember, torque them up after. I know a lot of people don't. So it's just one little Allen key in there. Beautiful. Too much. Hope you guys are enjoying this video, and hopefully you're enjoying watching it. So it's just a tiny bit too much. That's better. Yeah, I like that. So remember, 0.5 inlet, 0.7 for the exhaust. So we've got our little feeler gauges again. I'm not going to do this for everyone. I'm just doing it for these, and then I'll time lapse the rest of it. So yeah. Definitely want the rest of it. So I'm going to cut this one off. Keynader, that's tight. Tell me if you've done these before and what you think the lights do. I've done MAM ones before with the engine brake, and they're a little bit more involved. These haven't got engine brakes. These have got just them, so put that on. Come on. Sorry if I'm going quiet. Just concentrate. So we've adjusted this in exhaust, remember 64 Newton meters. Recheck it again. Beautiful. So that is the flywheel gone round once. We've adjusted them lot. I am now going to time lapse the rest of it, because you're not going to want to see all six. I'm going to time lapse the rest of it, and then we'll see what else we've got to do. So we're back to number one. So number one got on the rock, So I'm going to time lapse the rest of this. So we're going to do 1, and then we'll be doing 5, and then we'll be doing 3. So let's get cracking on. That's all the valves done, all clean, marked every single one. I've just gone back over with a torque wrench to make sure everything's all tight and where it needs to be. I'll turn the engine over again, make sure we're all good, clean up all this, and then we're going to put a new rocker cover gasket on. Got that to do, and then we will start it and see how we are. I'll probably give it a road test as well, make sure it's all good. Last jobs I've got to do is an MCS switch, that's faulty, and I need to have a look at a lane departure one, so we'll have a look at that. So let's get this cleaned up, put a new rocker cover gasket on, put a rocker back on, we'll torque it all down, and then we'll put the engine cover back on, and then yeah. So we've got to tighten the sequence of how we tighten this rocker down, put the new gasket in. So let's get it bolted down, torqued up. Let's get a cab over. So we've done all that. We need to make sure how we're running. Let it idle for a bit and we'll give it a run in a bit, but yeah, sounds good.